can't stop. Fuck around, make my 40 pop.
Alright guys, we got some big news. Organic Dinosaur recently tweeted out the upcoming episode titles for episode 212 and episode 213. Now this right here usually wouldn't necessarily be anything too crazy, but of course these episode titles actually mirror the titles of the Boruto manga titles that of course they are going to be adapted into the Boruto episodes. But before I get into the video, I do want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor for today's video, which is going to be Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN is a tool that encrypts your data and hides your virtual location. When you connect to a VPN server, your device is given a new IP and DNS address. It's a lot more huge words in the description, but it gives you a lot more protection than you already have and access to a bunch of media and websites from specific locations. One of the best ways to use Atlas VPN, well for me, is of course accessing Netflix shows from different locations. If there is a show that I can't really watch on the US Netflix, I can easily go to the UK Netflix and then stream a bunch of TV shows. For example, connecting to the UK can give me access to shows like Rick and Morty, Top Gear, Brooklyn 99, or I could travel to Canada and watch shows like Lord of the Rings, The Avengers, Harry Potter, just a bunch of things that I can't really access in the US on Netflix. And there's also a lot more streaming services that could be unlocked with Atlas VPN. For example, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, BBC iPlayer, Hulu, HBO, literally just a bunch of streaming services. And one of the best things about Atlas VPN is that it is supported on any device. Currently, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount on their 3-year deal, and hear me out on it, for just $1.39 per month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. The deal won't last for long, so make sure you check it out by clicking the link in the description below. And I just want to repeat this in case you guys did not hear me at first. It literally only costs $1.39 per month. So if you guys want a VPN and you guys want to support me, make sure you guys click the link in the description down below. But without further ado, let's get into the actual video. So episode 212, the title is going to be Amado's Defection. Now this right here was like an interesting title mainly because chapter 44 of the Boruto manga, the title of that is Amado, and chapter 45 of the Boruto manga, it's Defection. So of course you put those two together, it's going to be Amado's Defection. So we have a very good idea, or you pretty much understand that in episode 212 it's going to be adapting chapter 44 and 45. Now in episode 213 and of course chapter 46 is also True Identity. So this right here is going to be a very big slate of episodes. I've talked about how I want to see a couple of anime only episodes sprinkled in a little bit, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, these two episodes right here, they got me really hyped. Now real quick, I do want to talk about, I'm probably gonna divulge a little bit of manga spoilers, not necessarily gonna be too much, I'm not necessarily gonna go too crazy in this one right here, but I just want to talk about exactly what we should expect from these two episodes so you guys can get a good idea of it. I'm not necessarily gonna go full-blown spoiler mode, but just a rough overview. Now I think the biggest thing about these two episodes are going to be the amount of information that we do get. Matter of fact, let me cut the malarkey, I'll talk about the information a little bit later. We're going to get to see Isshiki Otsutsuki for the first time. Well, not necessarily the first time, we've seen Isshiki Otsutsuki already, but we're going to actually see people call Isshiki Otsutsuki by his name, and we're going to get some information about Isshiki Otsutsuki as well. And the previous episode 214 at the end of episode 213 is most likely going to also have Isshiki Otsutsuki. Now of course there is no guarantee that episode 214 is going to be another manga adaptation. This right here is just speculation, but if episode 214 is another manga adaptation, then 100% we're going to probably see Isshiki Otsutsuki in that preview as well. So a bunch of Isshiki Otsutsuki content that we should be looking forward to. Now as I said earlier, information is going to be one of the key things that we do look forward to in these two episodes right here, because the information is going to be flowing. It's going to be absolutely insane. There will be some groundbreaking information, especially surrounding the Karma Seal, but a lot of the information that was actually pointed out was information that we kind of already knew. So for example, we're going to get some information about the Otsutsuki clan, the God Tree, chakra fruits, things like that, and seeing it all laid out right in front of us is going to be a little bit surprising. Now at that particular point, me personally, I didn't necessarily know too much about it, mainly because I wasn't necessarily keying in so much on the Otsutsuki clan, so I was super excited when it actually did come to the Boruto manga for it to actually be laid out like that. And I'm pretty sure when it comes to the Boruto fans or the anime only fans, you guys are going to love this information as well. And to be honest, you're probably going to look at Kage and all the other Otsutsuki members probably in a little bit of different light, but it is going to clear up a lot of questions surrounding the episodes that we have already seen. Why is Jigen so strong? What is the Karma Seal truly? Why are Otsutsuki members continuously coming to Earth? Just a litany of questions will actually be answered in that episode episode right there. Now, not only that, Jigen will also be fighting in these episodes as well. I don't necessarily want to talk too much about his opponent because the manga readers understand that right there in itself is a huge announcement and a huge plot twist, and I want to kind of keep that under wraps. But Jigen's going to be fighting again. I think a lot of people understand automatically Jigen, when he's fighting, he brings a certain level of respect because of his last fight. Like literally, he soloed Naruto and Sasuke, and at the end of that battle in itself, it was kind of a cliffhanger on Jigen's part, mainly because the rock in his stomach, or the black thing in his stomach, was kind of cracking, and he was also kind of speaking to himself as like Isshiki Otsutsuki. So that right there is going to be very interesting, how they pick up on the information that was, you know, basically talked about at the end of that battle as well. Now, not only that, of course, Amado and Kashin Koji, they are going to be starting their plan, and it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what they talk about in the other 3 episodes prior to these 2 episodes right here. So for example, episode 209 through episode 211, I personally believe that those 3 episodes are 100% going to have some sort of Kata organization information in that, which would probably heighten the interest for episode 212 and for episode 213. So for example, if you guys do recall, back in the Boruto manga, we got almost no information about Boro, but what the Boruto anime did, they gave us a lot more information about Boro. They gave us a lot more information about exactly what he did, some of his abilities, things like that prior to the fight. And then once we actually did get to see the fight, it was a little bit more entertaining. Similar with Victor, and of course the anime added a whole brand new character that we didn't necessarily see in the Boruto manga, which was Deepa. So things like that are definitely welcome in regards to anime only content that kind of fill in the blanks with the Kata organization. Now, one of the things that I'm definitely looking forward to is the events that happened at the end of chapter 43. At the end of chapter 43, some of you guys don't necessarily know, but there was a lot of information that was divulged in regards to Kashin Koji's true motives and also Amado's true motives. And just to remind you guys, chapter 43 was adapted in episode 207 and episode 208, and now we're talking about chapter 44 and 45 being adapted in episode 212. So that would mean the information that we didn't necessarily get in the anime yet from chapter 43 should be involved in those 3 episodes right there, episodes 209 through episode 211. I know I'm speaking a little bit too confusing, just stick with me real quick. But regardless, I think that episode 211 is going to be very heavy in regarding Kata organization information. So just to reread a bit of the spoilers that we did get from Organic Dinosaur, again, shout out Organic Dinosaur, she created the translations for these spoilers that we did get, but it pretty much says there could potentially be a spy that was inside and lurking amongst them. Even though the village has strengthened its vigilance in response, the culprit is just Kashin Koji, one of the Kata's leaders who has already infiltrated the village. Meanwhile, Nari Shikadai, Akamichi Chocho, and Sai's son Yamanaka Inojin start to track down the criminal on their own after hearing about the incident. While en route, the 3 of them happen to encounter Hatake Kakashi, who was already independently in pursuit of the culprit. They have decided to collaborate with one another in order to keep trying to chase after the perpetrator. However, even Kakashi recognizes the deceptive dexterity of Kashin Koji, who has been manipulating them all along. So that pretty much tells us that Kashin Koji is going to be a very big part of that episode. And again, the information that we didn't necessarily get from chapter 43 is about Kashin Koji and also a little bit about Amado. So I'm pretty damn sure that in that episode right there, we're probably going to get to see at least some manga content, of course some build up to episodes 212 and episode 213. But one of the things that I definitely do want to ask you guys is, what do you guys think about the pacing of the manga? I asked you guys a similar question to this when I talked about BoruShiki being introduced for the first time, or his potential debut, which I ended up being right, but that's besides the point. What do you guys think about the pacing of the Boruto anime as of right now? I talked about how I did think that the anime only episodes were definitely a very good change of pace, but of course I did see a lot of people kind of not necessarily liking it as much. Do you guys think that it should be 1 or 2 chapters per episode at this particular time moving forward? I think right now it's already a done deal. The Boruto anime is going to catch up to the Boruto manga. It's really just a matter of time at this particular point. But do you guys want to see a little bit of anime only episodes being thrown in there to kind of hold up that progression as of right now? Let me know what you guys think. But I like it. I thought the anime only episodes were good. They were decent. But let me know what you guys think. It's me, your boy Baara, and we out.
It's a knife.